Welcome to Richardson Plus Architectural Scan. Every morning, a quick review is done concerning what is happening, and maybe there are some unique issues going on within the world of architecture at this time. What happens is we go online and we do a quick review to see what are the elements that are important at this time to take a look at. Today, I don't know what I'm going to find, but the idea is to begin. So we begin a search, and then some things, because there's so many features and things happening in the world today, that it would be important to see, architecturally speaking, what is interesting that's happening that could be of interest, that could help inform one of the designs that we would be involved with in a future state. So things that we're doing now opposed to things that might happen in the future, but to at least begin to prepare and look at some of the interesting things that are happening to see how others solve the problems that are facing us, and or how are you looking at a spatial or human, environmental, and again the cultural twist on from country to country based on the unique condition of each city and each architectural condition, that we can see how someone else dealt with that. Okay, so here we go. The first thing that is done is I put in a search, newest architectural projects or project 2020, and then I begin to scan down to see what is going on in this world of architectural projects, because again there's so many unique projects that could be included in this initial scan, this architectural scan, but it's always good to see, and you're trying to find something that stands out, at least for my interests, for our needs, that could be of interest to help inform. Okay, for example, like I'm seeing here, this on the ground effect here is interesting. Like how is that coming to life? Let's see what that one is. Okay, go down. So to go after it, let's see here, let us visit that. So it has to do with 16 projects illuminated. Okay, come up. Yep, interesting. The way, again, an office is being used. Again, you're just looking at the techniques used and the way the spaces are being incorporated, public and private. And here's the one that is interesting. And then, okay, look at this one. So over in Karafu, interesting. Looking at how the light enters and washes the wall, but at the same time making it easier so that during the day you don't have to incorporate that much electricity, but you're getting a lot of natural light while protecting the building. That's good for here in the Caribbean, as well as anywhere in the world, that you can incorporate a scenario like this. So this is a good one to keep in mind. So what I would do normally here is I would send an email to myself showing, like, copy paste this link and send it to myself, so that I would be able to have that in case of future reference. And then have my team, our team, put it together so that we can then have this, and then we would review and be able to look. So again, this is my personal approach. The greenhouse, this is an interesting one, where they are using this very simple looking space and creating this dynamic, almost robotic looking structure in the midst of everything else, and having this wonderful effect. Again, like a block in midst of buildings that is being transformed by the elements, because again you can treat a building in many different ways and begin to tell its own story, and this one is telling its own story. So that's interesting. Here's a big space and how they did that. So this review takes a few minutes just to take a quick scan of what's happening. I think so. Out of this summary here, I think the ones that stood out the most to me, one, the brick-like machine that was transformed, which is this one right here, because of the intimacy of the space and the way it was adjusted to solve the problem of space, of experience, while trying to incorporate a level of privacy and flexibility. So this one is a very interesting combination of issues that they found a way to solve while protecting the privacy, security, the building. So there's some weaknesses here. I mean, in terms of crime, someone could come at a certain time of the day and enter the space. So but it has to then do with who's here and how important is this space. But this solution could be applied on a bigger scale. Imagine this solution being applied to a larger building, and you're able to now feature certain elements using, as it were, some of the hydraulic lift areas, while emphasizing transparency in different places. As a first thought, but I mean, there's so many other things that could happen. And then finally, when you look at this one right here, this one, where the combination, and I think the combination of hard yet internal softness of light is this protection and revealing. Is very interesting how those two elements work in collaboration with each other. So out of the review, the scan, I would say these two projects stand out the most to me, and I would look at them at a later time more closely. So for now, that's what I would do, and I would send this link to myself and have that put in a archive so that in case I need to find it in the future, I would be able to find it to review it a little closer. So here's another that I would look at in the morning in terms of reviewing, is to see what else would jump out. And interesting, another one is, for example, this one with the green factor, because Mr. Vincent Calibo Architectures. And this one is interesting because of the use of the natural material in the green, but while facilitating the program at the same time. But then seeing how they create unique experiences with transparency while solving the problem of space to make sure that all of the program and experiences are incorporated. So this is the Green Architecture First Prize winner, the Belgium Pavilion. This is the World Expo Dubai 2020. Go deeper to see Mr. Vincent Calibo Architectures, or to see his work. It'd be then interesting to just go in and check videos, see what's there. He's maybe talking about it, but most of the stuff is in, you see here, this quick architectural scan of today.
C'est à 2 pas de la place de la Bastille que débute notre voyage à la découverte de ce Paris plus vert sur les pas de Vincent Calibo, un architecte vraiment pas comme les autres qui nous transporte dans le futur.
You're always gonna get that, they will go back and check out who this person is, what did he create, what was involved in that process.
Sur le projet du Grand Paris à l'horizon 2050. Et pour lui, l'avenir de la capitale passe irrémédiablement par une alliance avec la nature.
He's bringing a new revolution on how architecture is seen, where nature is coming into. So the merging of back to, so basically
à la fois dans l'univers fantastique de Jules Verne et au cœur.
So in a sense, the merger of, call it nature, man's experience, trying to solve the problem of what has happened over time, where a lot of deforestation and a removing of the natural nature experience, we're trying now to bring that back into cities and to find a way to make that a seamless process. At this point, we have not solved the problem completely, but here's an effort being made to bring that to life and to see how, in a very technical way, but at the same time, aesthetically pleasing, trying to solve this problem, to to say that the answer has come and the solution is there, it's close, but I don't see that it's fully answering the problem yet. But it's a very, very interesting approach and way of thinking about the problem to begin to open doors towards solving the problem of environment, man, and the context within which we coexist with nature. So again, I could always go back and look at one or two of his projects to recognize or to see how is Mr. Vincent facilitating and relating solution to some of the problems facing the world today, and how that interpretation is being manifested. So that's again an interesting project. So with that, we can then move forward and see. So based on this morning's review, there are two projects or two issues that stand out. One, the green condition that is facing the world today in terms of architecture and how that's being translated into built form, being able to merge the two worlds together, the one of nature with that of man, and using then the built form to be that merger between the two worlds, and how that's being translated into architectural an architectural solution. So that's an interesting thing to keep an eye on, and also to because it's one of our concerns, one of our visions, part of our what do you call it now, mission statements, is to find a way, again, continually developing the seamless relationship between culture, environment, and technology, and how these work together. So it is interesting, again, to find solutions or thoughts on how that's being done. So to keep an eye on those. And then number two, to understand how we interact with spaces, and to see how light impacts or how the environment is experienced based on how you put materials together to help us have an experience in a space. So that's where the second impressions help bring that to life. So again, that's the architectural review for today, and thank you, and until maybe tomorrow or another day when I have some time to do another review. Take care. Have a nice day.